Dun dun dun! My video was removed. I kind of figured that was going to happen actually. Um, YouTube is ran by people who like to claim that they are liberals. However, I am old enough to remember a time when liberals were anti-censorship and anti-war. That is no longer the case. These are people who are always tilting at windmills, freaking out over like white supremacists, and it always turns out that the so-called white supremacists, they have like interracial marriages, and I've covered this kind of stuff, before, or like people they claim are like Nazis, and they are actually Jewish people or something rather. It's rather insane. I got this email here. It says, "Hi, SteveTheFish.net. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our medical misinformation policy. Okay? We've removed the following content from YouTube." All right, this is my channel update. "We know that this might be disappointing." Well, I mean, yeah, it's called YouTube. It's not UsTube, right? It's YouTube. But it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. Safe space, safe place, whatever. I kind of miss the days when YouTube was just a cesspool of trolls and such. At least there was more freedom of speech back then. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. Well, conveniently, these people are constantly moving the goalposts around, right? So there's really no way to ever know. Even people who go out of their way, like that guy Steven Crowder. I know a lot of people probably like that guy. I watch him on occasion. He's kind of interesting, but that guy goes out of his way to be a total normie, and he still gets boned by these corporate people. If you think that we've made a mistake, you can appeal, and we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. So it says how your content violated the policy. YouTube does not allow content that spreads medical misinformation, that contradicts the World Health Organization. Okay, the same World Health Organization that is run by this guy, who I guess he's a biologist, but he's not a medical doctor. But he is a communist thug. Okay, from a third world country. Or local health authorities' medical information about COVID-19. Does that involve Bill Gates? So this is Bill Gates, by the way. That the one standing next to Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, the same Bill Gates who wanted to spray the sky with chalk, of all things. I wasn't sure if this was even real or not. I had to, verify it in several different places. So yeah, chemtrails, those are that's a conspiracy theory, except of course when Bill Gates wants to use them to spray frickin' chalk all over the sky. And I'm a teacher, and I work with blackboards. I don't want to get a face full of chalk, much less having the entire sky filled with this stuff. All just because he had some batshit crazy idea to slow global warming. Yeah. The same man who is not a medical doctor whatsoever, but he has enough money. Science and medicine are being shaped by people who are not scientists or doctors. I have a problem with that, and YouTube does not like me having a problem with that. Alright, now let's just take a little trip back in time here, and to give you a bit of perspective. Okay, let's go back to like the frickin' 1950s or something like that. All right, check this out. Now, 10 months, scientific evidence for Chesterfield cigarettes. scientific evidence. A medical specialist is making regular bi-monthly examinations of a group of people from various walks of life. 45% of this group have smoked Chesterfield for an average of over 10 years. After 10 months, the medical specialist reports he observed no adverse effects on the nose, throat, and sinuses of the group from smoking Chesterfield. Chesterfield is best for you. Oh my gosh, you're not a science denier, are you? What? Native Americans, they're the ones that introduced the world to smoking tobacco. What, are you racist? Are you racist against Native Americans? Is that it? Racist bigots. Here's another one. Why physicians call our new brand a health cigar. I recommend Thompson's Mellowell cigars to any who are interested in regaining or keeping physical fitness. That's right. If you're interested in physical fitness, we got a cigarette for you, or a cigar, whatever the hell. Oh my gosh. I'm convinced that irritants such as nicotines, glycerides, albuminoids, or whatever, and carbons, dangerous when used to excess by those who are physically below par, are largely removed from Thompson's Mellowell cigars. Many former patients, friends, and others who have consulted me, and who ordinarily would be obliged to greatly curtail smoking, we are now enjoying their usual allotment of cigars. Well, thank God. Thank God. Thompson's Mellowells, with no less satisfaction or good health. That's right, without a loss of good health. So says the signed G. Edward Rigg, MD. Dude, he is a medical doctor. Are you going to go against what this medical doctor said? He says that you can smoke this stuff and it's not going to be bad for your health. In fact, if you're interested in good health, you can smoke these cigars. What the hell is wrong with you? Trust the science. Trust the science. Look, there's even a doctor. Oh, and I heard, checked out this guy here. Oh my gosh. Over 20,000 physicians say Luckies are less irritating. It's toasted. Your throat protection against irritation, against cough. Hey, these cigarettes are going to protect your throat. It's not like they're going to give your throat cancer or anything. What the hell is wrong with you? Look, there's even a picture of a freaking dentist. Don't you believe that is a picture? He looks like a dentist. Look, he's wearing like a white collarless shirt. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you anti-science? Do you hate teeth? Do you hate dentists? What is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? I swear. So yeah, like let's go back to this G. Edward Rigg. So we got a medical doctor here. This is what you call a shill. All right. Now, let's say that Google and YouTube existed back in the 50s. These are the people who would be saying, "Hey, you've been saying that smoking cigarettes are bad for you. We can't allow you to say that on our platform because you see, we're in the back pocket of the big tobacco, and we don't appreciate these opinions that you have. We can't let you get away with saying stuff like that. You are anti-science, and see, look, we have these doctors who we've paid off to say crap, whatever we want them to say. And you look, this Dr. Rohrig, he's got a medical degree. You don't, so then therefore you are wrong. We mustn't allow dissenting opinions on our platforms." I would hope that this I would hope that this is making it rather clear. Basically, you can't just go around and bully people like this. And the thing is, they think, okay, so what am I supposed to do? They don't want me to say things that doesn't fit the narrative. They don't like voices of dissent. And so what happens is, in what they would hope is that people would just continue to use their platform and fall in line and behave. In reality, though, I mean, look at what is happening to Twitter. People, it's unfortunately, I have stuck with YouTube like past when everybody was getting pissed off with the whole forcing everybody to sign up with a Google Plus account. I stuck through it. And then just like a couple of years ago when they were scaring everybody with this, the content for children and all that kind of stuff, I laughed it off. I stuck with this platform. But now they are really intent on turning this place into a ghost town. And it's really sad. I mean, YouTube has been probably less of a censorship crazy place like Facebook. They want to promote this idea that this is a platform where you can upload your opinions and your views on the world. They were happy when everything was just like cat videos or whatever, but when it turns out that YouTube has become a driving force for the liberty movement, the worldwide liberty movement, in which there is no room for totalitarianism in that movement at all. This is the freedom-loving populist movement of this whole world. They don't like the idea that people can just make videos and they can get better viewership than CNN or these other different cable news networks and such. And so that's why they are going out of their way to promote these big cable network corporations and such over the little people. And it was the little people who had built YouTube to be where it is today. So yeah, so Susan Wojcinski, the more you tighten your grip, the more viewership will slip through your fingers. This channel is, at least I have held this backed up on Odyssey. And so I'm going to probably continue to upload stuff to YouTube, but I think this is it. This is going to be the last straw. I'm always talking with other friends who are sick of YouTube and the way things are going. And I think maybe this is finally it. This is time to support these alt tech platforms. So, I mean, they got, okay, Rumble is okay, but again, Rumble is more, it's all like totally like, who was it? Dan Bongino, I think, made Rumble or something like that. It's just, mostly, it's just all political stuff. And of course, like Gab TV, they want to get into the whole, video thing too. But of course, that's just going to be mostly political stuff. Odyssey, I think, is a bit of a better platform. They have a lot of emphasis on just a broad range of things, as well as freedom of speech. So there's some things I don't like about that site. Odyssey, like, they only allow 3 hashtags, like meta tags per video, whereas YouTube has you can enter as many as you want pretty much. And I think that's why I gained a lot of viewership from the beginning when I started uploading hobby videos and such, is because I knew about how to use the meta tags to make my videos more easily searchable. So I had tried supporting Daily Motion. Daily Motion is the site. I think they're from France, I guess, and it's just all TNA. You do a search for plastic models, and you're gonna find like videos on, you know, supermodels who've had plastic surgery or something like that. You know, women with their boob jobs or whatever. You're not gonna find anything like actual hobby unless it's like video games or something. So, really, YouTube has been the best at encompassing pretty much everything and having things fairly well easily found. Of course, they like to bury some videos in the search, and sometimes it's easier just to use like DuckDuckGo to search YouTube instead of like actually searching for videos within YouTube, because they use their algorithms to suppress information. But yeah, of course I'm not happy about this, but I guess I kind of saw it coming. I'm not surprised, and I was almost anticipating it when I had uploaded that video. So what they want is to promote this idea of like science is absolute, you mustn't question, because hey, we have these doctors and they're a bunch of shills, but they support our narrative, and how dare you go against our narrative. In the context of these 50s ads, this is pretty obvious. They would have been completely in the wrong, and history would not look favorably upon their policies. When you talk about wearing masks and all that kind of stuff, when they say the science is settled, what they're saying is, don't go against with what we are saying, or we will silence you. So basically, I must not talk about anything Wu Flu related, or maybe I will get a warning. Or actually, I gotten a warning. Next would be like a strike on my channel. So yeah, it's time to finally do with what I've been planning on doing, is maybe hosting stuff off-site. I have been doing stuff on Tumblr, for example, where I share a lot of other hobby-related stuff that I don't put on my YouTube channel. Maybe it's time I start uploading more stuff to Odyssey. Now, I have done like maybe at least one video that was Odyssey exclusive, and maybe it's time to start doing that, start driving traffic to other websites. I can't say for sure that Odyssey is going to be the one to go to. I know that they have something going on with like some sort of like a digital currency that they might be getting in trouble, or at least their library website. I'm not so sure about that. But in the future going forward, I'll let you know. And in the meantime, though, my stuff remains uncensored on Odyssey. Welcome to the oligarchy, really. There's not much more to say than that. This is the oligarchy at work. The oligarchy is basically a rule by unelected officials who just happen to have way more money than you do. And it used to be that, to me, in my mind, the idea of corporations taking over governments was just something from like a science fiction novel, especially like a cyberpunk novel, something out of the William Gibson type universe. And but here we see it going on today. The government doesn't have to force you to do this kind of stuff, to comply with stuff that you don't like, the corporations can do that in their stead, and basically the government can let that happen just because they're getting, politicians are being paid off by corporations, I guess. Just a possible theory. So there has to be a tipping point to this kind of thing, right? So when it comes to MySpace, that website was made for musicians. It really wasn't made for, just common everyday people to do blogging and stuff. It was mostly just for musicians. And then along came Facebook, and now people just kind of use that for everything. It's kind of just, they try to centralize the internet. And I mean, back in the day, in the 90s or so, during the Wild West of the internet, that's why I always kind of laughed at AOL, is because these America Online users, AOL users, they really had no concept of the internet outside of AOL. Unfortunately, when it comes to Facebook and YouTube and all this kind of stuff, people just go there mostly, and they don't get anything else. And working with kids, I hear kids saying, "Oh, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up." And unfortunately, I don't think YouTube is even going to be around by the time they come of age, and certainly not after all the adpocalypse stuff that they will ever be able to make a living off of it, even though that was originally the idea behind YouTube. I'm not monetized, but I my videos can be monetized off of, just because I have some music playing in the background that gets picked up by the algorithms and such, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. But just like I've talked to you guys about Linux, switching to Linux, getting away from Microsoft, there's just kind of like a breaking point with people, like how far you can go before you get really kind of fed up with the way things are going. I kind of okay, so I've been Windows free for about 15 months now, maybe, yeah, since February of last year, and I don't regret it whatsoever. Getting away from Microsoft, getting away from Bill Gates makes me happy. It's in my mind, because I'm always thinking of like metaphors and such. I kind of think of it as the ending of the movie Finding Nemo. All the fish that are caught in the net, of course they don't want to be eaten. They want their freedom. And the whatever his name was, the protagonist in the movie, he's telling all the fish, look, don't swim up to get out of the net, swim down. If you all swim down at the same time, then you can break the net and you're all free. So it kind of, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would recommend, though, start swimming down. Got to break the net. Open yourself up to more liberty. Just the way the internet was back in the 90s, where you had to actually, look for information and such. I'm not going to tell you to create an Odyssey channel or anything like that, or Odyssey account. But for me, I kind of see things going in that direction. Hoping that Odyssey is going to stay around, but definitely I'm going to be, pursuing alternative media, definitely. So not only just with, going the Linux route with my OS on my computer, but just taking that mentality elsewhere for the internet. So I will just keep you all informed as I go along, and science is not settled. I mean, let's think about like the beta carotene thing back in the 90s. I mean, it's like they would say, oh, beta carotene is good for you and it fights cancer, and then they said, oh, actually no, beta carotene is actually causes cancer, and then they switched it back to saying beta carotene is actually good for you. They flip-flop a lot. They've flip-flopped on the whole mask thing. Everything is just a bunch of flip-flopping crap. Another allegory I could think of is like, cholesterol. What if a bunch of people with lots of money, enough money to shape public policy, say that cholesterol is bad for you? And somebody says, well, hold on a second. No, there's actually good things about cholesterol. Cholesterol is necessary for creating hormones in your body, and there's the HDL and then LDL. There's beneficial cholesterol, and there's bad cholesterol. And the people with the money say, no, 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 no. You are not allowed to have an opinion on that because we have more money than you do, and cholesterol is bad for you. And so that's it's kind of what's going on. And if you don't have a good idea, if for example, if I'm full of crap, leave it up to the public opinion. Don't hide things away. Let things be discussed. Right? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Right? Shed light on stuff and challenge people's ideas. That should be the way that things work. And it should be that YouTube would be a platform for such debate, but that is unfortunately disappearing. So, as for myself, I will be looking towards platforms that will offer more freedom of thought, definitely. So, take care.